Be strong. Be you. Be a ninja babe. Greetings! Hello! Welcome to the Ninja Babes podcast. I'm your host, Cara Palillo, and this is the place to come for loads of great insight, encouragement, and awesome ninja stories from all your favorite ninjas. Today's episode is with Jessie Graff, and I'm so excited for her interview, and we will get to that. But before we do, I have a few updates and announcements because there's a lot going on. 2018 has been a whirlwind so far, and there's so much that I want to tell you about. Well, I'm getting a new roommate this week, so things are super exciting here at my apartment. I've basically been living alone for the past 5 months since Labor Day. So, as you can imagine, I had a lot of extra space, and I sort of leaked into the vacant spaces over the past 5 months. So I've really had to get myself in gear and, clean up the apartment a little bit. I mean, there's just open shelves for food. Of course I'm going to use it. Or there was, extra closet space in the hallway. So obviously, it's the perfect place to stash my ridiculously high volume of fresh foams. Come on. You do the same thing. So now I'm trying to, pull back and get ready for the new roomie. It's almost like nesting. Or the opposite of nesting. I mean, maybe. I mean, the roommate's not going to be my child, that's for sure. And I'm not pregnant. But, I'm making room. Anyways, I'm super looking forward to NNL finals in just a few weeks, and I'm sure I'm going to see all of you out there. I'm so excited. Ninja Babes is going to have a booth at finals. That's really something to look forward to. Definitely, if you're at finals, come stop by the booth, say hi, pick up a t-shirt or one of the cute little canvas pouches. There's so much to look forward to during that weekend. It's going to be so exciting. And I'm pumped for everyone who's going to be there. And there's one other thing that I'm nerdily excited for. So now that I have all this extra space in my apartment, I've been trying to think, what's the best thing to do with it? Because I was able to move a lot of my home office space from my bedroom into the basement, which was super cool, which means I have open space in my bedroom. And what would be the most logical thing for a ninja to do with extra space? Dun 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 dun. Yes, you guessed it. Install an at-home ninja gym. And that's what I'm gonna do. More ninja in my house. So, I am making room for some great new ninja toys and some ninja training here in my apartment. And I've talked to my friends over at Monstro Holds, and they are going to use their creativity to totally ninjify my room. I can't wait. If you don't know about Monstro yet, it's a ninja holds and equipment company started by Eric Totten and Lucio Batista. Eric has an incredible ability for coming up with new ideas and bringing those creative ventures to life. He has 10 years experience in casting, molding, CAD design, and metalworking, and you can definitely see his expertise in what he produces. If you've swung on one of the wing nuts at Ninja Quest, Action Athletics, Warrior Tech OCR, or TA Fitness, then you've already experienced the beauty of his work. You can also try out their peg graspers at Center Court in Chatham, New Jersey, or you can put in an order for bungees or whatever your heart desires for your own ninja home gym. Then, of course, there's Lucio with his 16-inch award-winning English-style mustache. He is a powerhouse on the ninja course and is constantly thinking of new ways to enhance and test the limits of the modern-day ninja warrior. Together, Eric and Lucio are an unstoppable team for the ninja community. It's Lucio's passion for training and Eric's amazing ability for making that led to the creation of Monstro Holds. Needless to say, I'm stoked to have these guys transform the blank walls of my apartment into ninja training oasis. And I'll keep you all informed of the progress of my ninja rig as I see it come to life here in my apartment. Hopefully the new roomie doesn't mind the ninja shenanigans too much. But if you want to get a hold of some of the Monstro goodness for yourself, Monstro has generously provided us with a Ninja Babes discount code. So you can type in Ninja Babes, all lowercase, all one word, Ninja Babes, at checkout for 15% off your order. The code doesn't apply to sale items or wig nuts, but you should definitely head on over to the website and check out all the sweet products they've got, from bungees to the 3-in-1 peg graspers and the ultimate limit. These guys have some crazy toys out there, so definitely don't want to miss it. Again, it's monstroholds.com. Take a look right now before you even finish listening to this podcast. As long as you're not driving. If you're driving, don't look right now. This is the very last episode from a series of interviews that I recorded back during Labor Day at Ultimate Backyard Warrior. Now let's dive into this interview. Jessie is known for breaking gender stereotypes and being a positive female role model. Jessie proves that being feminine shouldn't mean you can't be athletic, strong, and confident. Strong is beautiful. You may already know that our friend Jessie Graff has worked in stunts for over 11 and a half years. You may have even watched her double in a movie and not even realized it. She has been in all sorts of thrilling scenes from G.I. Joe, Transformers, Die Hard, The Dark Knight, as well as being a recurring double on Supergirl, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Leverage, and the list just goes on and on. She just recently filmed an episode here in New York for The Harry Show that will be airing today, the same day that this podcast episode is airing. Friday, February 2nd. Yeah, in case you didn't know, happy Friday. I think it's safe to say most of us listening know Jessie from her time with us on American Ninja Warrior. She first stepped onto the A&W course, Season 5, in the iconic chicken dress and became the first woman to qualify for city finals. Then, Season 7, she became the second woman to qualify for Las Vegas finals. She set the record for making it further than any other woman had in city finals, and then amazingly broke that record again in Season 8 when she placed second in city finals and became the only woman to qualify for Las Vegas twice. There's so much to say about Jessie's repertoire of work. I could be here all day just going through her resume. Jessie is full of energy and ideas. One of her brilliant ideas came to her just a few weeks ago. See, she's been motivated to help people make better food choices without making them feel bound to a strict diet. She came up with the idea of the Veggie Challenge and has inspired people all over the country to have fun eating vegetables. Jessie's going to tell us more about her challenge later in the episode and how you can play along. So let's cut to the chase and jump into this interview with Jessie. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ninjababe podcast. I'm your host, Kara, and I'm here today with the one and only Jessie Graff.
Hola.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm great. I am on that endorphin high after climbing a rope to the extent of my limit.
Yes.
I'm always way more fun and relaxed after the competition's over.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a high, and it's just it's all over, and now I can relax.
It is.
And
Especially
I feel so
when
good.
It goes well.
Yes.
It's like a dramatic contrast to when things don't go the way you want them to.
Yeah. Well, how do you... That was an ambulance. How do you...
Wow. It's not us, though. Everyone's safe and healthy here right now.
I promise.
Yeah.
So how do you deal... if you do have a bad run, or even if you feel like it wasn't your personal best or whatever, how do you deal with that mentally?
Sometimes it feels devastating.
Mm-hmm.
I work really hard at reminding myself that whatever happens on the course, it a lot of people feel like, oh, it was wasted. I wasted this whole year of training because I fell on the first thing. If you spend a whole year training, you're stronger, you're faster, you're healthier, you're more capable, and you tripped on a thing. So it's no matter how I do on the show, I can do 40 pull-ups now. And when I started training for Ninja Warrior, I could do 6. The amount of things that I'm capable of now, whether I ever competed on the show or not, because I trained for the show, is so dramatic and so exciting and empowering that it really makes me feel like anything's possible.
Yeah.
And of course, when the spotlight and millions of Americans are watching me and all these little girls are oh, anything's possible because you can do everything.
Yeah.
And I'm but I can't do everything. I'm not as strong as you think I am. That's super intimidating.
Is it?
Oh gosh, I was so stressed going into Daytona this year because I think a lot of people who watch the show don't realize that the qualifying round is different from the city finals round. And while the city finals round qualifies you for Vegas, city finals is significantly harder than stage 1 in Vegas, in my opinion. Taxing wise, stage 1 is trickier.
Yeah.
It's super finicky and any little thing can go wrong and there's a time limit and there's more cardio. But as far as grip strength, city finals is harder. And because people have seen me finish stage 1 and qualifiers and everything, they're like, oh, Jessie finishes courses. That's just what she does. And I'm like, guys, I haven't done this one before. I don't know if I can do this one. And I knew it was I also had a hand injury that three hand injuries from September to February.
Oh, wow.
And so it was my grip strength was not back up to where it was the previous year. And it gets harder every year. So I was hoping that my increase in bicep strength was going to be enough to make up for my weaker hands, but I I always try to underestimate myself and overestimate the obstacles. And I knew that I might not be able to do it. I wasn't even sure if I could get past Rolling Thunder. Like, I went into qualifiers being like, it's hard, but I think I can do it. And when I fell short, it was just like, oh no. I underestimate myself. I don't overestimate myself. I thought I could do it, and I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So it was that night between qualifiers and finals was just like so stressful, because I've also never done worse in finals than I have in qualifiers. I've always gotten a little bit farther, and I fell in the same place. And then I also got woken up by housekeeping 3 times.
What?
Because they thought I was supposed to check out the day before. And so you know, we're sleeping from like 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. or something. And so they came in at like 9 and were like, hey, you have to check out. And I was like, no, I don't. No, not today. No, I have another night. And they're like, no, you were supposed to check out. I was like, we changed it. And they're like, okay, we'll come back later. And I was like, no, don't come back.
Don't ever come back.
And they came back 3 times, and the last one was the manager. And I was like, what do I have to pay? What do I have to pay to just stay?
Wow.
I think I cried.
No.
And it was just like, I went back to sleep being like, it's ruined.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to I can't do it.
Oh my God.
It's ruined. And I think I was so tired. Like, I woke up like trembling, and I was crying on the way to the course, just being like, you have to pull it together. You have to be okay. And sometimes I feel like that actually sets me up to do better, because I take everything so seriously, keeps me extra focused. And so no matter how well I've done in the past, I always try to see myself as an underdog, because even though I've done well, I've never beat the whole show. It's Mount Midoriyama 4, Jessie 0. Or unless you break it down to each, like, I've scored a few points on qualifying rounds, but I have a long way to go. Yeah.
I mean, it's humbling to hear you say that, and I love, you know, being able to hear your perspective and just like the inner workings of your brain. It's
very busy.
You're human. Yeah, it's very busy.
Extremely. I was talking to a guy yesterday here who was like, oh no, I don't want to compete. I'm not ready. And I was like, yeah, I'm not ready to complete Mount Midoriyama. So crap, I shouldn't have been competing these past 3 years.
Ooh.
Like, I was not ready. I don't even know why I competed last year. I was not ready. And he was like, oh.
Yeah.
I think he still didn't compete, but I was pretty proud of myself for being sarcastic.
That was a good one.
Thanks.
That was a burn.
Was it? I thought it was just like, it didn't mean to be a burn as much as it was like, you know,
like
it's not about being ready to beat the whole thing.
Right.
It's about being ready to challenge yourself. And to see how far you can go. That's what it's always about for me.
Absolutely.
I know I'm not strong enough to beat Mount Midoriyama. I cannot climb a 70-foot rope in 30 seconds. Like, I've tried. I can't do it, and it's going to take me a few years to get that strong.
Well, we all want to see you get there.
Thanks. I do think it's possible.
Yeah.
Actually, the only time I climb ropes over 30 feet is when I come here twice a year. But also, you have to beat stage 3 before you get to stage 4. And based on all of my simulations, I can't beat stage 3 yet. And I'm going to just go on a little rant.
Yeah, I mean...
So there's always this huge thing that everyone says you have to believe to achieve. Like, if you don't believe it, you can't do it. And I completely disagree. I've gone into so many different obstacles just being like, nope, I can't do that. I am not strong enough to do that. And I feel like whether you believe you can or can't is completely irrelevant as long as you have the guts to try. And if I don't think I can do it, I'm going to be even more calculated. Like, if I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that, I'm not going to think it through as much. And you're going to be faster, more efficient, and more likely to do it if you recognize everything that's difficult about it and go, I don't know if I can do it, but here's how I'm going to approach it to make me most likely to do it. And then maybe it'll turn out it's super easy. Underestimating an obstacle is the most likely way to fail, in my opinion.
Interesting. Those are good words.
Thanks.
And yeah, I know that I'm a very visual person, so I love to be able to watch other competitors and really like try to take into an account like what did they do good, where did they fall, but I'm not always great at being able to, I guess, like look into the future for my own run and think like, okay, how should I calculate this out for myself, like if I haven't seen it already done before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I'm still working on.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
And we have to do that in stunts a lot. And sometimes, you know, with Ninja Warrior, if it goes poorly, you fall in the water, you're wet and embarrassed. And sometimes with stunts, if it goes poorly, you're in the hospital.
It's a big
you're
difference.
falling 20 feet to concrete, like very serious consequences. Your spacing is wrong. Okay, now you're hit by a car that you weren't supposed to get hit by. And so you have to get very good at calculating movement, spatial awareness, like, if I'm on this wire and it's wrapped around me twice and pulling in that direction, how far am I going to get before I hit the ground? Like, how much pressure, how many people are pulling, how strong is that guy? Where am I going to land? Talk to them. What kind of questions do I ask? Like, are you popping me up or forward? Oh, okay. The wire is pointed at that way at like a 20-degree angle, so I'm going to get a lot of distance and not a lot of height. Are you guys dropping me? All these questions, and the more you practice translating those verbal cues and looking at the angles, better you get at guessing where your body's gonna go.
So you're basically telling me that you're Sherlock Holmes. Like, you have a Sherlock.
That's my goal. Yes, I would love to be Sherlock Holmes. No, but it's always interesting. Like, you know, I was pretty late in the order on all of my runs here. It takes me so many practice watches. I have to watch so many people before I figure out what I'm going to do.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and it was great, like, watching the people who went earlier on that were falling on the earlier obstacles, because I was like, oh, okay, what's causing them to fall? Don't just assume that they're not as strong as me. What tripped them up? Okay, well, how can I learn from that rhythm?
Right.
Would they have made that if they'd kipped better? Okay, well, I can save, like, an ounce of energy if I kip better, right? So just, the more you can watch, the better.
That's really good. I definitely need to ingest that for myself, because I always video everything, even if it's like, okay, I know I'm probably going to fall on my face when I do this, like at the gym or whatever, still video it, see why I fall, and then learn from that. So that's definitely something that I always try to do.
You know what's fun, random, sort of related, is if you're on a bar that's not going to flex too much, and you swing side by side with someone who has a really good technique, and you match their rhythm and their spacing, and you're like, oh, okay, you're aiming your feet higher and then stretching, being able to compare side by side, really helpful.
Yeah, and I have done that before, and I've honestly always noticed that usually the person next to me, their first kip up is higher than mine, and like I'll get a good backswing and then we'll be matched on the next one. But
interesting.
Something that maybe I should think about. Why would that happen? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, video and doing it side by side is just like, that's such an important ninja skill.
Yeah.
Being able to pump up your swing in one pump.
Yeah.
I've noticed lately, like, if I jump to a bar, you know how you have a little bit of swing going in. If you jump from like 3 feet away, you're already going to be swinging. Yeah. Versus if you jump from straight under the bar. I've noticed that it's easier for me to pump my swing up from 0 than it is to start with a little bit of swing.
Interesting.
And use it.
Are you driving your knees high? Like, is that how that happens?
I think it's that, I don't know, I guess it's when you jump straight up to a bar. Maybe because when I was a little kid, we were jumping straight up to the bar because we could barely reach it. And then you'd kick back and force out to pump up your swing. And you don't practice like every little distance in between.
You just do it.
Right. And then if you're on like a bigger platform far away, then you're jumping and maybe going right away.
These are all interesting things.
So many things.
Keep it knocking around in the Sherlock brain. And let me know how she come up with.
You know what I wish I could do, though? That Sherlock Holmes, if he were a real person, like, he just picks it all up immediately. Photographic memory. Yeah. I feel like I have to watch things so many times to really know what I'm seeing.
Well, one thing that I loved today on the course was, like you mentioned before, like all the kids that love to watch you. I took a few little creeper photos from the background of just like Jessie doing her thing, and then all these little girls' faces with their eyes like bulging, watching, and it's so inspiring to everybody, and just everything that you do is so encouraging, and people have been saying this to you all day, but people look up to you, and kids want to be like you, and it's just, you're their superhero. It's just incredible.
I feel so lucky. I mean, there are a lot of people who can do what I can do, who are strong, and like, and just to be put in a position where I get that spotlight and I get to have that relationship. Amazing, adorable little girls who are now like, you know, they send me pictures doing pull-ups, and like, did you see little Cameron in the Wonder Woman outfit?
Yeah.
Like, she was crushing those obstacles. And like,
so
I get
cool.
to feel like I'm a part of it. I didn't train her at all, but I'm like, oh, she's like my mini-me.
But you've been one of her biggest influences, I'm sure. It's so cool. Yeah. So what advice might you have then for girls like that, or even girls who are a little bit older who are already working on their ninja skills but they're brand new?
Beat yourself and expect everything to feel impossible. I think there's a lot of people who, especially like, I didn't realize that this was a thing that women didn't know they had upper body strength, that women are told they can't because they're women. Like, I just did not experience that at all in my life. I'm not sure how.
Wow.
Maybe I live in a bubble and my mom is awesome. But like, I wasn't aware that that was a thing for a very long time.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, almost until people on social media, like after Ninja Warrior, were like, I didn't know women could do that. And I was like, how, really? Like, I was just surrounded by all these, like, you know, tiny gymnasts who had 8-packs and could do 30 pull-ups.
Yeah.
I was just like, well, yeah, if you train it, that's what you can do. So my theory, because people are always like, oh, women can build lower body strength, but upper body strength is hard. So here's my theory.
Let's go.
Women have been training lower body since they learned how to walk. Like, you use your legs every day. It's not like you have, like, your muscles have never been worked before. If you've never hung from a bar and attempted a pull-up, then you haven't even woken up those neurotransmitters. Your brain is sending messages to your arm and it's being like, what are you saying? I don't understand. It's just like, you have to teach those neurotransmitters to function. You have to teach your bicep. This is the movement we're trying to do. And so when you jump on a bar and you try to pull and it doesn't work and you jump down and people go, that's okay. Pull-ups are really hard for women.
Oof.
Then you go, oh, okay, it's normal that I can't do this, and don't come back to it. And I think that's such a disservice to anyone. It's like, that's how it's supposed to feel. Like, if you get up and you try and it's impossible, okay, normal. You're a normal human being.
Right.
All right, so what's the first step? And there's so many little progressions, and you just have to understand that it's going to take a very long time. The older you are when you start trying to do pull-ups, the harder it's going to be. Unless you're a guy and you have testosterone, and then you can apparently just learn it really fast. And just as a woman, I feel like it took me longer to build lower body strength because I didn't train that as much as a little kid. I used to be able to bench press more than I could squat, because as a gymnast, we punch off the spring floor.
Right.
We don't bend and jump. So that just took me longer to build. It annoyed me, so I did squats and plyometrics, and I was like, okay, why is this guy jumping higher than me? Okay, what exercises do I do to build the muscles so I can do what he's doing?
Right.
And so it's just about being scientific and understanding that, like, my mom started when she was 63. Yeah, she's 65 now.
Yeah.
It took her over a year to get her first pull-up. Possibly more, because she was working on them in secret, and like, so she was working on them for a long time. She came to me, she was doing like basically half pull-ups, not realizing that she wasn't doing the full range of motion. She's so proud. She'd done like 3 of them, and she would jump up to like a 90-degree bend, pull her chin over the bar, and go halfway down a 90-degree bend.
Okay.
And so it was really hard to tell her that wasn't a full pull-up, and it definitely got her discouraged. But we worked on drills of how do you build the strength to get from that bottom dead hang up to that 90-degree where you have strength again, because you're going to have gaps in strength if you don't work the full range of motion. And so I have a video on Facebook. It's old, but it's like a pull-up tutorial for people who can't even begin to do that. And you just use your legs. You put a chair under, you use your legs for a lot of it, and you try to use as little leg as you can, so that you should be like shaking. Your arms should be trembling the entire way up, trying to pull with everything you have and just helping as much as you need to. And that way you work every centimeter of the range of motion, and you're strong in every position. And you'll notice some that you can kind of like pull faster through. Don't use your legs as much on those. And the other ones where you get stuck and you have to push a little bit. But just by doing those drills, and again, expect it to feel impossible. 20 pull-ups seemed like a very, very ambitious goal that maybe someday I'll be able to do. And now I can do 40. It's just like, lots of things feel really impossible until you do all the progressions. And then you can do like 10 times more than you thought.
That's amazing. And progressions, I feel like I never used that word before ninja.
Really?
And now with ninja, it's like, this is a progression. Like, it's such a big deal to me, just being able to recognize every step along the way and celebrate every victory and just realize that I'm building up to something greater.
Yeah.
So
that's another important one. Celebrate every small victory. I always say, try to beat yourself. If you get on a cliffhanger ledge and you hang on for 1 second and fall off, great. Your record is 1 second. All right. Do it like 10 more times. Now rest for 2 days. Not rest. Like, go run the next day. Do other muscle groups. 2 days later, hang on that thing and get 2 seconds. Fight for it. If you can get 3, good. But
Yeah.
every time you're just focusing on beating yourself, and every second of gain, a huge, exciting thing.
So good. I want to dive a little bit deeper into your brain. How do you feel like especially being on Ninja Warrior on the show and all of that, how do you feel like it's maybe changed yourself, maybe your view of yourself, or just your own self-confidence?
It's actually improved it dramatically, because as a stunt woman in this career, job number 1 is look like the actress. And so I was criticized a lot for being too big and too muscular, because so many of the actresses are super skinny. And I had a lot of like really caring stunt coordinators who would say things like very regularly, like, hey, I love working with you, you're super talented, you work hard, but you've got to stay out of the gym.
Wow.
You know, it was like, you're too muscular to double this actress, but you know, your skills are great, so you know, if we have to put her in a tank top, we just can't use you. Which is a valid point. Like, I understand where they're coming from. It's not their fault. But, like, this is how the actress is built. I have to look like the actress. And I was trying to kind of comply with that, because it's more important to me to be strong and capable and able to do all the things I want to do. But in stunts, like, if I'm the right size, I get to do cooler things. I get to hang from helicopters and leap from car to car and jump off of bridges, and like, the opportunities are amazing, and that's a lot of pressure. Be like, well, what's more important, to be strong and healthy or to get cool opportunities? And it's just like, it was tearing at me. And I ended up, the whole reason that I committed to just like getting strong was because I blew out my knee. It was a combination of, okay, well, you can't work for a year anyway. Who cares what size you are? You can't work for a year. Why don't you try this experiment where you just see how strong you can get while no one's gonna hire you? Maybe lifting isn't gonna make you huge. Like this myth that everyone's so afraid of. Like, that women are like, oh, I can't lift weights, I'll get huge. You won't. I'm smaller.
Right.
I'm actually smaller
False.
now.
Yeah.
I'm way leaner. And I hate the idea that I would have had a fear of getting muscular. Like, I love muscular. It was really just about like wanting to get those cool jobs.
Yeah.
And the experience of being like, all right, well, let's see what happens. What happens if I lift? What if I do bench press and stabilize all my joints? Because I didn't want to break again. My knee got blown out. Like, I tore the ACL, MCL, and meniscus because I had been neglecting my leg workouts because I had been in trouble at work for having thighs that were too big. It was, you know, the costumers would be like, oh, your legs are so much bigger than the actresses. And they'd be like, we don't even have the right size pants for you. Well, it's on my resume. This is my pants size. And it was just like, it was such a drama that it makes me feel like, oh, well, I'm wrong. I'm the wrong size. And so I hadn't been doing my squats, and my legs had shrunk, and I was working more. I blew out my knee. Like, that's what happens when you don't build muscles to support the high impact activities that you're doing. You break. Just sitting there on the floor with my, like, clutching my knee, trying to keep it from, like, popping out because now the ligaments are gone. Just feeling like I'm broken, and it just, like, paralyzed with, what am I going to do? Because I had a feeling that it was an ACL, and it was. And, you know, it was a life-changing thing that you don't expect a huge injury like that to change your life for the better so dramatically. But that experience of being like, okay, well, I guess you're doing upper body for the next 6 months. And of course I got into my PT and strengthening my legs earlier than that, but it was like, okay, well, so what are you going to do to keep you motivated? Like, I can't just lift weights and do conditioning for 6 months until I can start running again. You need a goal. What's the fun goal that you're aiming towards? Why are you doing pull-ups? Ninja Warrior was kind of fun. That was cool. I did that last year. I'm missing grip strength. Maybe if I just say I'm going to work on this and compete on Ninja Warrior, maybe that'll keep me motivated. And the more I did it, the more excited I got about it. And I started going to watch the other regions. Like, I watched LA on my crutches. It was 2 weeks after surgery, and I was like crutching back and forth, watching everyone, getting to know the other competitors. I went to Denver and stayed at Noah Kaufman's house with the Wolf Pack.
Nice.
And Maggie and Michelle were there. Maggie and I shared a bed, and that's when I got to know Michelle. Like, we went hiking because I could walk then, and like
Nice.
it was great. And I got so immersed in the community and how supportive everyone was, so that by the time season 7 came around, I was all in. I was like, oh no. Now I've trained. Like, season 5, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't really care. This is fun. Let me play on this thing. Hey, I'm not bad at this. That's cool. Now I've trained for a whole year, and like all of my stunt friends knew. It's like, oh no, now I have to do well.
Watch out.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was funny. And again, people hate the whole like not having confidence in yourself, but I felt like it would take a lot of pressure off of me that year if I felt like I had something to do the night of finals, so that if I fell early, I'd be like, oh, that's okay, I had plans anyway. And so I scheduled, like, I called a couple close friends and was like, hey, can we plan on shooting a fight scene tomorrow night?
That's hilarious.
And so it was very easy. Like, if I do well, I'll, like, my roommates are shooting, my friends are fighting with me.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to be mad if I cancel. But it makes me feel a lot more confident to be like, my life does not revolve around Ninja Warrior. Like, I'm a stunt woman. I'm doing important things that I love and care about. And if I don't get to move on in Ninja Warrior, like, I'm still a whole person. I'm going to do fulfilling things. And so then, of course, it went great. I called my friends. I was like, I can't do the fight tonight. and then I competed. And, like, of course, now I'm more and more invested. Yeah. And I've even turned down actual stunt work, like paying stunt work. The first time I did that was season 8, before qualifiers, being like, oh, I'm going to be so mad at myself if I turn down this job and then fall early. I'm going to be kicking myself. But I turned down the job, and I placed second in finals and earned more from my prize money than I would have from the job. And it was like...
that must have been a wild feeling.
Like, yeah, because I never imagined that I would make any money at Ninja Warrior, because there isn't really prize money until you beat the whole thing.
Right.
They've been increasing it from year to year, like fastest time. And that year was the first time that they had small prize money for second and third at city finals. Wow. So it was a shocker. Like, first of all, I wasn't going to place in the top 3. There was no way. And then I got second. So it was like, it was such a thrill. That's still one of my favorite runs, because I surprised myself so much.
That's incredible. Well, it's been great having you on the show. Before we go, you had so many great things to say.
Hey, I rambled. That's what happens
I love
when
rambling.
You get me off, like, right after a rope climb.
But
I'm like giddy.
Yes, I feel your energy. You're flooding this car. But no, you have so many insightful things to say, and I feel like I've learned a lot sitting in here talking to you.
Thank you.
But is there anything else that you want to put out there? I don't know if you've got something new going on you want to share about, or just...
Wolfpack Ninja Tour.
Yes, all the Wolfpacks.
Oh, I mean, it's just such an exciting thing, because, like I said, like, there's not a lot of prize money in Ninja Warrior unless you win the whole thing. And we dedicate our lives to this. Yeah. Like, you know, people who have quit their jobs and are full-time ninjas, and how do you make money as a ninja? And so a bunch of the top competitors, there's now 34 of us on the pro team, Wolfpack Ninja Tour. So we basically have this whole event. It's a long weekend. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where you can get tickets to be a spectator, to do meet and greets, to hang out with the ninjas, to have classes. That's like the big part. Sweet. We have a couple days of kids classes. You sign up. There's never more than, I think it's supposed to be 10 people per class. You can do one-on-one sessions if you get a VIP pack. Sweet. So I have a couple kids that are going to do like a full 1 hour one-on-one session with me.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then the last day, or adult and kids get to compete on the full-size ninja course. The obstacles are going to be way harder this time. It was like very like Team Ninja Warrior speed-based, the first one we did. Yes. But yeah, so all weekend you can qualify, and the top move on to like the finals, and it's a show. So we pack the arena. Everyone comes in and watches. Sick. The energy is crazy, and it's head-to-head races on what will now be a more difficult course.
Wow.
And it's like a tournament style. So there's men's category and women's category, over $50,000 in prize money. Wow. And there's a kids category too that I think happens first. Yeah. But it's so cool. Exciting to now have this thing where you can be a professional ninja. Right. Like, we can be professional athletes now. Yeah. And it's just growing. And the bigger each event gets, the more budget we have to create an even bigger thing and more tours. Yeah. I love how ninja is growing in so many different ways, and it is a sport, and it's like, I feel like it's taken a little while for it to get recognition as so. Definitely, because American Ninja Warrior is not a sport. It is a reality show. Yeah. And it's up to us to be like, well, we like what you've created. Let's make a sport.
Yeah.
Because that's not their job. They're producers. They make a show.
That's true.
And if we want this to be a sport, it's up to us.
Yeah. You hear that, America and the world? It's up to us.
Join in our sport.
Sports. All right. Well, again.
It's been fun.
It's been real. Woo! All the high fives.
All of them.
Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe to Ninja Babes. And you can find Jessie
at Jessie Graff Power, JessieGraffPWR on all social media things except Snapchat, because I don't even know why we have Snapchat anymore.
Who even uses? I mean, power does Snapchat, but
yeah, we have Instagram stories.
Yeah.
Do we need another one?
And with that note,
yes.
Over and out. Thank you so much for listening. And by the way, when you head over to Jessie's Instagram and social media to see what she's up to, you can also catch up with her partner in crime, Samuel the Hog, and see what sort of piggy playtime they're up to. The next episode of Ninja Babes podcast will be with Jessie's mom, Ginny McCall. I was blown away by my interview with her. She shares so much insight and wisdom from life and fun stories about raising Jessie. She's got just as much energy as Jessie does, and is a great ninja to train with and spend time with. Well, we have had so much fun on the podcast with you today, and I hope you've enjoyed listening. Don't forget to share www.theninjababes.com with your friends and leave us a review on iTunes. Stick around for just a minute longer, and Jessie will share with you the rules for the Veggie Challenge. And don't forget, if you ever have any questions or comments about the podcast or Ninja Babes, you can contact me at theninjababes@gmail.com. And while you're on the interwebs, you can head on over to monsterholds.com and use code NinjaBabes for your 15% off discount. And I look forward to updating you on all the brilliant work that Monstro does right here in my apartment.
Hey guys, it's Jessie Graff. I started the Veggie Challenge just for myself because I knew I needed to eat more vegetables, and I knew gamifying it would make it more fun. And when I realized how much this could help other people, I started trying to share it on my Instagram stories. The rules are really simple. You get 1 point for each serving of vegetables. You get 2 points if it's dark green. Pay attention to the serving sizes. If you don't know the serving size, it's probably a half cup or a cup, but it's really easy to look up on Google. So have fun. Eat more vegetables. It has nothing to do with ruling out other food groups. It's just about adding as many vegetables as you can. So have fun. Feel free to tag me if you have a really cool vegetable combination in your meal. And let's all be healthy. Yay!
Thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed the episode today, make sure you leave us a review on iTunes and subscribe to this podcast. And when you leave us a great review, it actually helps other people find the Ninja Babes podcast. Bye, and thank you so much for listening. Remember, be strong, be you, be a Ninja Babe.
Join in our sport.